In this screencast, we're looking at a free app called Literal Word. And one of the neat things about this app is that if you are just starting to learn one of the biblical languages, or if you're just not quite there yet, but you still want to take advantage of some of the insights you can get from reading Hebrew and reading Greek, this app makes that a little more of a possibility. There is no substitute for learning another language. There will always be things that won't carry over 100% in translation, but there's still much to be gained from a resource like this. Now, I just tapped on the Aleph, the Hebrew letter there in the upper right, and it brings up highlights of all these words. I'm using the iPad app, but this has a free website, and the mobile apps function very similarly to each other. I've not seen that you can do this on the website, literalword.com yet, but if you get the free mobile app for Android or Apple devices, you can bring this up and you can tap on these words and you can see some definitions. And so I tapped on Reshit. Now the actual verse begins with Bereshit. You've got that preposition beit at the beginning, but the noun that is in that preposition shows up here. So that's an example of where it doesn't show you everything right there. So this is not a complete substitute for learning the languages, but this is the heart of that word. It is beginning, and it shows you all the verses where you can find this. And I love how it gives you the breakdown of where it occurs. 17 times in the Pentateuch, 5 times in the historical books, wisdom and poetry, major prophets, minor prophets, following the Protestant order in the Old Testament. And you can see the examples that are given here, and you can look at all the different ways Reshit is translated. And if you want to do a word study, that's a good way to do it. Start looking at these things in context and see which contexts are more similar. For instance, here in 1 Samuel 2, the choicest, is that really what it's talking about here in Genesis 1:1? I would argue that this isn't the most helpful parallel right here, even though there would be this first idea. There would be some commonality here, but you can certainly go back and just dig in there with various words. Here you can see the word for God, and it gives you different meanings, the plural meaning of God, and you'll see that when you have plural verbs. You have a plural intensive or singular meaning here, where you have the true God, and of course we have a singular verb here that we translate in English, and that's also in the Hebrew, bara, and here it gives you the different meanings of bara, and it even mentions the stems. So if you're starting to learn some Hebrew, that's some helpful insight in the call, in the nifal, in the pl. And I just encourage you to check out resources like this. This is one of the better free ones that's out there right now. In a future screencast, I want to show you some Bible software where you can take advantage of just the full resources of getting into the language and tools that are directly connected to those language texts. But in the meantime, the New American Standard here tagged like this and Literal Word is a great tool to have handy.